Did you know that Washington himself shot the first bullet of the French and Indian War? That's right. George Washington was chosen as a young man to bring orders to vacate to the French when they set up camp on British ground in Ohio. They had built Fort Duquesne on the Ohio Forks, which was precious territory, since whoever owned it controlled the waterways between Lake Erie and the Alleghany River. George traveled for months in the winter cold to deliver the message. When he returned to Virginia, he was made lieutenant colonel for his courage and resolve. He was only 21. As a young colonel, George was given a small group of 150 men to lead to fight the French. He suffered a loss at Fort Necessity that stung his pride. And of course, the British Parliament only made matters worse when they refused to give colonist officers a greater rank than real British officers. George stepped down from colonel and instead volunteered as aide-de-camp to the great General Edward Braddock. Braddock led his men into the Battle of Monongahela, and after having 5 horses shot from underneath him, he fell to a bullet to his lungs. With no hesitation, George took command. He himself had 2 horses shot from beneath him and survived the battle without injury, despite 4 shots through his coat. Talk about the unkillable man. He took his general off the field of battle, directed the remaining men, and led the charge. Even though the battle was ultimately lost, George had shown what he was made of. With his dying breath, General Braddock bestowed his own military sash on George, naming him General Washington. His time as a colonel taught George humility, courage, and leadership. It's what transformed an overly confident boy into a humble man who would win a war. Introducing the brand new series of half-ounce silver coins designed by Miles Standish and celebrating the life of George Washington. Colonel George Washington. An American icon, an American hero, an American life. Only from 7K.